because they've created more freedom.
Awesome stuff, Legs, and DC 96. As SGA, who had his 105-game streak snapped with at least 15 points in Game 3 already. Up to 13 in Game 4. Williams rims out. Kirk, the turnovers again, though. Minnesota starting the quarter with their 8th turnover already tonight.
Yeah, and 5 of them are steals. The Thunder are thieves. If you let them be, they will take the ball more than any team, maybe in NBA history, with steals. And Minnesota, yeah, you guys were so good against this in Game 3. You got to rediscover that carefulness here in Game 4.
SGA scored or assisted 22 of 37 points in the first. And Anthony Edwards did not take his first field goal attempt until there was 35 seconds left in the quarter.
Legs this guy, Terrence Shannon, back in action.
There we go.
Bucket.
Randall finds Shannon in the corner. Couldn't hit it. And going the other way, Randall, the loose ball foul. Shannon, by the way, at 15 off the bench in 13 minutes in Game 3.
We didn't expect to see him in Game 3. We were talking about maybe Jalen Clark out there. Instead, they went with Terrence Shannon Jr. He played well. The game obviously got away from OKC, but I like this. This is good coaching. So you go back to him in the next game. He deserved it. He earned the minutes, and I think he gave them an energy boost.
Holmgren slams it down. How about what has Oklahoma City been able to do beyond just Shea against Minnesota's defense so far tonight?
Right now, Minnesota's guessing a lot defensively. This is not the same amount of pressure they applied early. This is what you see out of OKC when they get into that nice offensive rhythm right now. It's up to Minnesota to disrupt things.
What Minnesota has gotten is some good shooting off the bench to try and keep them somewhat attached to the Thunder. Here's Williams. Williams kept the left foot down. Gets denied by Conley. Williams gives it up. Wallace, the flyby, can't hit the three. And how about Shannon keeping Holmgren off the glass?
That's great box out. He's got strong body, and then he loves this.
Oh, look at Shannon coast to coast.
Yeah, that's his game. I mean, he likes taking the ball with a live dribble over half court, and if you're not back and connected defensively, he's going to find whatever gap is there and use that acceleration to get to the rim.
Wow, Holmgren dips it in.
What a bucket there, but Terrence Shannon, I mean, what a find here by Finch. Look at this.
Gets the whistle.
He is so aggressive. He is not afraid.
How about Game 3? Yeah, he again and outscored everyone on the Thunder.
Yeah, this says a lot about Terrence Shannon, but it also talks a lot about how the Thunder had nobody going. I think J-Dub already has more than that tonight. But yeah, Terrence Shannon, Legs, picking up right where he left off.
I love the way you just described him. I think that's the thing that jumps out at you more than anything else. He's obviously got skills. He's got an NBA body like to play wing in this league. But it's really that quality. Being unafraid. Believing that he's the best player on the floor when he checks in the game. Like that's the mentality that made him a great college player, and I think ultimately is going to put him in Minnesota's rotation, regularly starting next season. But right now, you're even seeing splashes of minutes where he's very effective.
You saw he played in 6 games, which means he had a fair share of DNPs as well. Played a total of 21 minutes in these playoffs before his Game 3 performance out there in the first half of Game 4. Minnesota has cut it to a 4-point deficit. Isaiah Joe, wow, able to sneak inside, plus the foul.
Great job keeping his dribble there. You know, you're typically, if you're Minnesota, you're thinking if you chase Isaiah Joe off the 3-point line, then you've done your job on that possession. He's going to give it up, reset, but this is really creative dribble right there. It's a beautiful step through. I think he caught Dante DiVincenzo by surprise here, that he was going to continue with his dribble and get this ball over the front of the rim.
You know what's interesting, guys? I mean, I know, look, there's a whole lot of game left here. But one thing that has been interesting to observe with the Thunder all playoffs long is any other 68-win team that was as dominant as they were, right? you'd be talking about as the no doubt about it, heavy title favorite, because of course they have it anyway. But there'd be a level of conversation where it would feel inevitable, right? But it hasn't because people harp on the inexperience. Hey, they haven't done this before. They are an incredibly young team. But this whole season, every time they've been tested, they have answered the bell. And so far out of the gates in Game 4, after losing by 42, they have answered the bell. So too is Shannon.
It's unbelievable, really. Like, as much love as we gave him when he first checked in the game in Game 3, how well he's played this entire time. Giving him a boost, but right now, they just have no answer on that end of the floor.
I got a homework assignment for our researchers. Oklahoma City has 50 points in the first 15, 16 minutes of this game. How long did it take them to get to 50 last game? This is an offensive explosion by the Thunder.
Great homework assignment. I'm sure the fellas in our SIG department will have it as Alexander Walker lays it in. Every time it feels like OKC's about to go up 12-15, Minnesota's bench has had an answer.
Well, that's the good news for Minnesota. Like, they haven't figured out anything defensively that's been effective tonight, but they're scoring at such a clip, they're still in the game.
That's a great point. Like, this is a huge uppercut from the Oklahoma City Thunder offense, and to the Wolves' credit, they are sticking with it at that 44-point mark, in keeping this game close.
Shea back in. Meanwhile, Anthony Edwards had just one field goal attempt in that first quarter. How about the bench of Minnesota? They've already put up 25 points. There's 7:53 to go in the second quarter. That is an astonishingly high number at this juncture of a game.
Yeah, 8 from Alexander Walker. They got this 7 we've been talking about in a very short period of time for Shannon Jr. Dante DiVincenzo's made a couple of shots, as well as Naz Reid.
I got a good Terrence Shannon Jr. number for you to watch, all right? If Shannon gets to 10 points.
Well, that's a given.
Yes. To get to it right here. He's got 7 already as it poked away by Shea. Wanted to whistle, didn't get it. If he gets to 10, he rejoins Stephon Marbury as the only rookies in T-Wolves history with 10-plus in consecutive playoff games.
Wow, to think that he's barely played in the postseason.
Gobert, yeah, nice find there from Alexander Walker. Gobert gets fouled.
Great foul. You got to send Gobert to the free throw line in that situation. You don't want to be in that situation, but that's the right play. It's always an adventure for Rudy at the free throw line.
You know what I like about the Insight Cast as we've gone along? We've learned it can be an interactive experience with our incredible research team, right?
Yeah.
So Darren just gets back to us. The Thunder did not score their 50th point in Game 3 until there was 9:17 left in the third quarter.
So they're a full quarter ahead of their
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But I think, continuing this theme here, we've all seen Oklahoma City all year long. When they do this offensively to teams, they're typically up 15 to 20 points.
Great point.
When they're cooking like this that early in a game, because
Right.
you know you're dealing with this defense every night. When they're doing that to you, typically it's because you forced a lot of turnovers and converted, which means it's going to be a 20-point lead. Here you look up now, that hurts, missing 2 free throws right there, but it's a 2-possession game for Minnesota.
Right, Lex, if I would have said to you, hey, the Thunder are going to be shooting 56%, they're going to have forced 10 turnovers with 7 minutes to go in the second, you're thinking they're up 15, right?
Yeah, did you think that Minnesota's really dug themselves a hole here? And OKC, look, they're up 9 now. That's a big 3. OKC understands the importance of this moment because think about what we're talking about. They would have a chance to go home and end the series. If they lose this game, they know for a fact they've got to come back here at least for a Game 6.
Very aggressive drive by Ant, who has to get going. And he got that triple handoff and just went. Got himself to the free throw line, so that's a good sign for him.
Free throws coming for Edwards. All right, here's your boy, Leg Shannon.
That's it. He gets that layup in transition early, and a guy like Terrence Shannon Jr., that means that bucket is twice as big.